So you still ain't replaced Boadicea?
Nah, I miss her. She was quite a horse. This one's okay, but ain't no Boadicea.
And Arthur? No crazy business.
I've given that up.
There has been so much speculation in the comments about Boadicea, Arthur's first horse, who we can all safely assume he lost in Blackwater. But that's ultimately another assumption. As far as I know, the only information the game gives us on this horse is during the introduction to the bear hunting mission with Hosea in Chapter 2. And all we really know is Boadicea was a female. Arthur thought she was a fine horse. He misses her and he measures all horses against her. I think it's important to note that Boadicea or Boadicea was an actual historical figure who led an uprising against the Romans in 60 AD. She was a Celtic, or more specifically an Iceni warrior queen, often depicted with red hair and riding a war chariot. We can assume that Arthur knew of this history and was inspired by his horse's bravery and beauty to choose this name. For the purposes of this exercise, I am going to limit my options to the horses that have appeared in the game. We need to start with Hosea's Black Shire, because seeing the Shire reminds Hosea of Boadicea. Because I prefer bigger horses, I'm going to assume the size and strength of the Shire reminded Hosea of Arthur's lost horse. I am also going to assume Boadicea had a darker coat. The Black Shire is a workhorse and far too gentle and good-natured for a career in battle. Stats at level 4 are a respectable 7 and 7, but I would expect Boadicea to be at least 8 or higher. First, it's important to discuss who Boadicea cannot be. The Black Arabian is pretty enough and certainly black enough, but she just doesn't have the size or the fortitude you would expect from a Celtic warrior queen. Stats at level 4 come in at an expected 9 health and 9 stamina. Arabians are great at two things, looking pretty and running fast, but they are mediocre hunters and subpar in a gunfight. She's a fine horse, but to quote Arthur, she ain't no Boadicea.
Another day on the move.
It is very possible that Boadicea was a war horse, and if we're going to talk war horses, the Ardennes immediately come to mind. First, we need to consider the pre-order Iron Grey Ardennes, which regrettably I do not have footage of. This makes sense because the game assigns Arthur this horse in Chapter 2, and you can easily visualize Arthur riding this horse and raising hell in Blackwater. Stats at level 4 are 10 health and 8 stamina. The Bayron's Ardennes is available from the Scarlet Meadows stable in Chapter 2. Her stats are slightly less than the Iron Greys, and at level 4 are 8 health and 7 stamina. But her bravery in battle is unparalleled. This one is fresh from the stables, barely level 1. I do like the Ardennes, but I prefer a more shapely horse for Arthur. Which brings us to the other war breed in the game, the Dark Bay Andalusian from the Strawberry stable, also available from Chapter 2 on. At level 4, his stats come in at 8 health and 7 stamina. We also have to consider the Seal Brown Dutch Warmblood from the Strawberry stable. The Dutch Warmblood is a workhorse, but I like the symmetry with Buell, the Cremello Gold Dutch Warmblood that is available for Arthur in Chapter 6. It would make sense from a storytelling perspective that Arthur started the game with a dark Dutch Warmblood and ended the game with a light Dutch Warmblood. At level 4, the Seal Brown Dutch Warmblood comes in at 7 health and 8 stamina. Balak, Micah's Black Missouri Fox Trotter, is a strong contender in the comments and for me personally for Boadicea. Micah describes himself as Arthur's brother, a son of Dutch, if you will, and you can easily see him from a plot perspective as Arthur's evil twin. It makes a lot of sense that they would have similar tastes in horses, and Boadicea may very well have been a Black Missouri Fox Trotter. At the time of this video, this horse is unavailable in story mode and post-game, and his stats remain a mystery, unknown. I do think it makes more sense that Boadicea is a post-game horse that is unavailable to Arthur. He had this breed before the events of the game started, and he will never see her again. However, she may be available post-game for John. Naturally, the Silver Dapple Pinto Missouri Fox Trotter immediately comes to mind, and can very well be made available to Arthur owing to a certain exploit at Moonstone Pond. This is one of my favorite horses, and at level 4 her stats come in at a respectable 8 health and 9 stamina. However, I do not personally believe the Silver Dapple is dark enough to be Boadicea. We also need to consider the Dark Bay Turcoman. She has the size, color, and physique I envision for Boadicea. The Turcomans are war/race horses, and I like to think of the Dark Bay as a bronze or copper Turcoman. This horse is available post-game at the Blackwater stable, and at level 4 comes in at 10 health and 8 stamina. And as far as bravery is concerned, he is a war horse first, and he will never let you forget that.
Someone's there, boy.
Relax. Easy, boy.
I am personally quite fond of thoroughbreds, and they may be my favorite breed in the game. A case can be made for the Ultimate Edition Reverse Dapple Black Thoroughbred, using the same logic as the Iron Grey Ardennes. Arthur lost this horse in Blackwater, and the game supplies a replacement in Chapter 2. But her stats are not great, and at level 4 come in at a disappointing 6 and 6. And if we are going to pursue this thoroughbred theory, it makes perfect sense that Rachel, John's seal brown thoroughbred, is the same breed as Boadicea from a storytelling or plot perspective. It provides a nice symmetry to both Arthur and John. Arthur ends Blackwater losing a seal brown thoroughbred, and John ends the game and returns to Blackwater riding another seal brown thoroughbred. Rachel's stats at level 4 come in at a respectable 7 and 7. I wish they were higher, but I know better than to argue with the game.
Hold up, you ain't a gun from Laramie. You got no business here. That's a girl. I'm gonna steal your gun, you bastard. You was foolish to stand up to the Laramies.
And speaking of Boadicea, there's also a 1992 song by Enya of the same name that I highly recommend. It is haunting and atmospheric, and to my mind immediately evocative of warrior queens, chariots, spear and shield, painting yourself blue and defying the might of the Roman Empire, and defending your home and your people in a desperate and valiant last stand. I'm Superantonio. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your views. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for daily Red Dead Redemption 2 content, and we shall meet again.
You done good, girl.
Further on down the trail.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to offload this big Shire horse for a while now. Unruly bastard.